Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is our first video ever created. I can't believe we actually got to this point, but we're here.
Take it all in.
Take
This is a historic moment in time. Historic moment in time right here.
Delicious. Smells great. But yeah, I'm your co-host Jeremiah. If you've never seen our faces, and
I'm Orlando, and if you haven't seen our faces, you should be following us on IG. Let's be honest now.
for real though,
Our faces are on IG, so
stop playing.
hit us up on IG.
Yeah, you know what I mean. All our links will be in the bio of this video if you don't have any of our social medias or anything. But purpose of this video, since the draft's coming up next week on the 29th, we decided to do our own mock draft. Uh just to,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
compare.
the way this is gonna work is gonna be
You just cut me off.
one mock
You
draft.
just cut me off.
I thought you were done.
Go ahead. You got it. You got it.
It's gonna be one mock draft. I have my picks and he has his picks. But at the very end, we have to agree on one singular mock draft. So if we disagree on some picks, we have to argue about it and then convince each other, convince the other person or whatever on what pick it should be.
Facts. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. So ready to get started?
Yeah.
Ready to get it started.
Start.
All right, cool.
Here we go. With the first pick
Pick number 1.
in the 2021 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham. I don't have to explain it. Come on now. Everybody says it's Cade Cunningham.
I think let me stop. I agree. Clear cut, number one. You know, same as, Zion and Anthony Davis and Wiggins and all those guys. Like he's separated. Oh dang.
You said Wiggins in the same.
Oh, Wiggins, like in his class, Wiggins was like there was no other clear. Wiggins was the clear cut number one.
Pretty sure back then it was a debate between Wiggins and Jabari Parker. Obviously, Parker.
And I'm sure, and there was a debate between Zion and Ja, but
There wasn't a debate.
everybody knew Ja. I mean Zion was the guy.
There wasn't a debate.
I don't think there was a debate between Parker and Wiggins
But there used to be back then. Back then.
back then.
There's not a debate anymore. But back
they're
then.
they're both they struggling right now. Well, Wiggins wasn't bad last year.
Okay, forget Wiggins. We're talking about Cade, bro. Forget Wiggins, bro.
But yeah, 6 APG, first team All American, Big 12, freshman of the year and player of the year as a freshman. Where they do that at, I don't know. Um, 6 APG could play. You could probably put him at 1 through what? 1 through 4, maybe. You think he can play 4? I think he can play 4.
Maybe. I think he's a little,
Too
skinny.
skinny for the 4.
But
But
the NBA,
yeah, the way
everybody buffs up at the very end.
yeah, the way it is now, I mean, you can put him anywhere and he'll succeed. But to just think about like how far, like this like Magic Johnson type height at the point guard position, and to like just see that there's still a guy that could like play point guard and be 6'8" or 6'9". It's just like it's still crazy to me. But yeah.
Cade.
Oh yeah, easily.
Cade.
I don't see no.
All right. And
First pick, Cade Cunningham.
it is done. Second pick.
Okay. Second pick, I have the Rockets. Now they could go a lot of different ways. Um, they there's plenty of good prospects available, but I have them picking Evan Mobley. Reason being, I think they could go with Jalen Green, but I just don't. Their guard kind of spot is kind of cluttered right now, and they just have John Wall and Kevin Porter and Eric Gordon, and I just don't see how Green fits in with all that. So you have a guy Evan Mobley who you could pair long term with Christian Wood, and be a guy that can stretch the floor. They don't have to clutter the paint. One can play outside, one can play inside, and they can just alternate like that. And I think that'll just be tremendous. And then you move Olenek to the bench, who was playing like towards the end of the season. He was playing tremendously. So to have him as like a six man or something, that's I don't see how you lose with that.
Okay, I agree. I actually agree.
I bet.
This is the pick. A lot of times I kind of went back and forth. Should they take Green? Should they take Mobley? But I think like a lot of things you said, Mobley fits in well with Christian Woods. They can interchange. And I think my biggest thing is like I look at John Wall, I look at Aaron Gordon, and I don't see them as part of the future. But the biggest main piece of the future is Kevin Porter Jr. And he plays the same position as Jalen Green. And I don't think having those two play together is necessarily the best combination.
Right.
So I think don't take Green, take Mobley because Mobley fits him better with that roster that they have. And I think if they draft Green with Kevin Porter Jr., just someone's not gonna develop because they won't have the necessary opportunity between those two.
For sure.
So for me, it's Evan Mobley.
All right, second pick, Evan Mobley. All right, we're off to a good start. No disagreements.
Disagreements.
I'm
We'll
loving
see.
it.
We'll see.
Better stay this way.
Third, with the third pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Jalen Green. I think it's pretty obvious Jalen Green. He didn't go one, he didn't go two, he has to go three. I don't think Jalen Green's gonna fall. I don't think Jalen Green's gonna fall any more than what he is here. He was arguably at one point the number one overall pick. It always
Yeah,
changes. It always changes,
he
but at
was.
some points he was. Um, there was talks about them trading Sexton. So if they do, and then you just put in Green right with Darius Garland. I think that's amazing for them.
Facts.
It's amazing for them. So I have Jalen Green.
I also had Jalen Green, number 3 pick, going to the Cavs. Reason being, I've been hearing a lot of things about Colin Sexton. Heard he's not really a locker room guy. Heard he's not really the best teammate. That could be all reports though. That could be fake though. But I mean, it kind of makes sense judging like the passion that he has and the way and his playing style where he's like so ball dominant. I see how that could come into play. So I think the Cavs they could pick Green at this spot. But it's motherfucking fly, bro. All right, back on schedule. Um, I feel like the Cavs could pick Jalen Green and then move Darius Garland to the point guard position, and then have a solid two guard, and then you have Garland, Okoro, and Green. I think that's a nice front court I mean back court to have. You got Okoro. I don't. We'll see what they do with Kevin Love, but I think Jalen Green is the perfect option for this team.
I agree. Third pick, Jalen Green.
Now, do you think he will fit in if they decide to keep Sexton?
If they decide to keep
Keep Sexton.
Sexton,
So like does he come does Green come off the bench or does Sexton come off the bench? Does Garland come off the bench? Like what are you doing?
screw it. Put Green at the small forward. Screw it.
So Okoro goes to the bench?
How tall's Okoro?
Height like 6'6", maybe 6'7".
Never mind. I was about to say put a core at the four, but that ain't happening.
Yeah. I mean he's got crazy defensive potential.
Honestly, ideally, I feel like the best fit if they keep Sexton
Mm-hmm.
would be someone like Kaminga.
Right. That's the thing.
But I don't think I feel like the way it's going, I don't think they're gonna take Kaminga at the third pick.
Right.
I feel like the draft is already set in terms of like the top picks.
Yeah.
So I feel
Okay.
with Jalen Green.
Third pick, Jalen Green. Right. So Toronto Raptors. Um, I think they go Jalen Suggs at this position. With the fourth pick. Reason being, I feel like Kyle Lowry's on his way out. So he's getting older and I feel like he wants to, just give himself a chance to win another championship, really. So and I don't think with this current Raptors team and how they're set up, I think they're more leaning towards a rebuild. So I think they go with Jalen Suggs, get you a nice cornerstone point guard for the future. He can also play off ball too if you need him to be. If you want to pair him with like Malachi Flynn or something like that, or Fred VanVleet, they could interchange at the 1 and 2. But I think Jalen Suggs is the guy. Led his team to a national championship as a freshman. Hit the crazy game winner, half court heave, which was just tremendous. And he's just been tremendous. Second team All American. Uh, just one of the best freshmen in the country. You just, I think he's perfect for this team, and I think he would be perfect to like jumpstart a rebuild and lead your rebuild. So I have Jalen Suggs.
Once again, we agree. I have Jalen Suggs as well. Like you mentioned, I think Kyle Lowry's out. I think Kyle Lowry's at now the moment where he's just gonna go, and he's gonna be a missing piece to a potential championship caliber team. So I think he's leaving the Raptors. It's that time for him to just, like I said, be that missing piece for a team. Be that could escalate them to be championship caliber. That leadership that he brings to any team. A lot of teams need leadership nowadays.
Lakers.
Okay. And I think Jalen Suggs fits in perfectly with this team. That backcourt of Fred VanVleet and Jalen Suggs is gonna be amazing and incredible. I think Suggs brings in look at the mentality and the what he had coming in as just a freshman. Everything that he did as a freshman. He was in Gonzaga where a lot of the people who was in Gonzaga were seniors or juniors, and then as a freshman he was starting. And then you could see he wasn't afraid of the spotlight, like you said, that half court heave to advance.
It don't get no bigger than that.
It doesn't get no bigger than that. So I think he has the right mindset to fit in with the Toronto Raptors and that whole organization. And it's also just an amazing fit with them.
Facts. All right. Fourth pick, Jalen Suggs. All right. Oh wow. Oh shit. What's he getting? Look like a draft hat, man. When did they draft you?
They drafted me 2018. Um, I have now like an office role right now.
Office girl.
They consulted me to ask me who did I want to draft right here. So I spoke with the front office.
So you're the reason Penny wasn't hired.
I was not the reason. I did not speak with Penny. Penny did not want to speak to me. Anyway, I'm here just for the draft. I'm here just for the draft.
No.
I talked with them and I was like, I want Jalen Green. No, Jalen Green's not here. Obviously. So we have to go in a different direction.
Oh
Now,
man.
looking at everybody who's available, when this draft first started, everybody said it was a five-player draft. Slowly, it started moving, and now people are saying it's a four-player draft. But I'm still gonna go with the player who has the most potential that is still available on the board, and that is Jonathan Kaminga. He could fit in real well at that small forward position that we have, and we could do very well with developing him, developing his shooting, developing his defense, and he could play multiple positions on the floor. And I think available, he's the best player available, and the Magic will pick the best player available.
I agree. I think y'all have a few team needs, but I think in this position you have to go with best available. And Jonathan Kuminga, I think he'll probably be the best player available at this point. I mean, he averaged 15 points a game in the not initial, but I would say the debut, I guess, G League in 19. So he was a leader along with Jalen Green. So for him to he played pretty well. He didn't shoot the ball the best. He shot close to 38% from the field, which isn't but I think with NBA spacing, I think that's definitely gonna,
Hmm.
increase. But to have a guy like him available, you can play him at the three, play him at the four. He's very versatile, very skilled. I think he's a lot. And I didn't really realize how good of a passer he was after watching some of his G League games, but he's a very underrated passer. And I think he's gonna do well if he's available at this point. I think the Magic are gonna be really happy with this pick.
Exactly. I think you said his shooting currently is not that well, but I feel he has all the necessary tools with the NBA coaching and the NBA, all the tools at the NBA level. We could really develop him to be a good shooter.
For sure.
Not to mention the defense. Just so much
Oh,
potential to unlock right here. So much potential.
wingspan, all that.
Everything.
Crazy.
So with the fifth pick, the Magic select Jonathan Kaminga.
I like it. All right. Um, okay. Where's my shit?
Here we go.
God damn it, where's my chair? All right. With the sixth pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the OKC Thunder select.
The suspense is killing me.
Scotty Barnes. God damn, I missed out. I have I think OKC. We're gonna select Scotty Barnes. Very versatile player, very skilled. I would say a 6'9" player, put the ball on the floor. You love a big man that can like he can not only can he like grab a rebound, but he could just take it coast to coast. You know what I mean? I wouldn't really consider him a big man, but he can play that kind of like Draymond Green role. He's pretty much a do it all on the court. He can do it all, really. Score, pass, rebound, whatever you need, defense. He does it all. And I think we're gonna get really lucky with this pick. Scotty Barnes, very versatile. He had a pretty solid freshman year at Florida State. Didn't really shoot the ball too well. He kind of same as Kaminga, shot close to 40% from the field in the game. He didn't really, but I think with a player like this, you have to disregard that. You got to focus on like the potential and the long term trajectory of where he can go. And I think he can go far. Another Florida boy, from West Palm Beach, which is I throw that in there. You gotta represent Florida. You know what I mean? But Scotty Barnes, if we're lucky enough to have him at this pick, I would love it. He could fit in. He's an instant starter, first day starter. As soon as we draft him, we can. Hopefully, he will allow us to move Lou Dort to the shooting guard position, and then uh, Baisley can stay at the four. But then we can just add more defense to our lineup and just more versatility, really. And I would love this pick. It has to happen.
I agree with you.
It's your hat, Scotty. This is your hat right here, bro.
Okay. I agree with you. I think
Okay.
Scotty Barnes is going to OKC. I
Okay.
think you guys really need either a small forward or a center, but right now, who's the best player available is obviously Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Fit him in at that small forward position, and like you said, he brings a lot of versatility to your lineup. He's a great defender, but not only that, he's a great passer, a great playmaker. And I think just brings another dimension to OKC and the team, and like the variety of lineups you could bring out with him and playing out there. So I think
Facts.
Scotty Barnes is the amazing pick. Not to mention, many people have been impressed with him. Some people have him going up a little bit higher just because he's been such impressive in the combine. So for you to get someone like that at the sixth pick,
I'm
amazing.
hearing he has close to like an 8 foot wingspan too, which is like insane. Like I don't,
Whoa,
or like either close to 8 feet or a high 7'5" or something like that. But it's there.
whoa.
Like the measurements are just it's not many. You don't see too many players like this. You just don't. So we both agree
Yep.
with the sixth pick. OKC Thunder select this Scotty Barnes. More championships.
Okay.
Okay. Ah,
Now we are at the seventh pick with the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors,
okay.
who have Curry, Thompson, Draymond, James Wiseman. You know
We good.
that team is stacked. The Warriors are stacked, and now they have two lottery picks.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I honestly feel like they're gonna trade him,
Hmm.
but for purposes of this video and this draft, we're gonna say they're gonna keep the seventh pick.
Okay.
And in my opinion, I feel like they're gonna pick Davion Mitchell. I think they necessarily need a backup point guard, someone who could lead that second unit, someone who could play defense in that second unit. Rest Curry a little bit more. Curry needs his rest. I know he's dropping like 40 points to bring you to like the ninth seed. He needs his rest now this coming up season. Bring a point guard to lead that bench unit. Um, I necessarily didn't want a shooting guard. You got Damian Lee, who's this shooting guard. They're kind of stacked at that shooting guard position. They needed either a point guard or a big, but big. They also have Kevin Looney, who could come off the bench. Either him and Wiseman are coming off the bench. So I think getting a point guard and Davion Mitchell, who great defense, great leader. I think he's gonna be great for that second unit for Golden State.
Okay. I see where you're going. I like the direction you took, but I think what's the first thing you think of with the Warriors? Like attribute. What basketball attribute do you think of when you think of Warriors?
3-point shooting.
Exactly. And they have like one of the best shooters available in the draft, and James Bouknight. I think he'll be perfect. So I have the Warriors selecting James Bouknight with the 7th pick. Reason being, I feel like he could be that third splash brother. Uh, his talent off the charts. Shot creating, he can do it. He's a New York guard, so you know how New York guards get down. You know they'll break you down. They'll make you look silly. Put you on the back of a cereal box, all that. But like I think James Bouknight with his talent and he performed really well in the NCAA tournament. He kind of had, I feel like he had kind of the hype that like John Morant had, kind of, because I didn't really see too much of John Morant before the NCAA tournament, so I wasn't really like sold on him just yet. But when I seen him in John Morant in the tournament, I'm like, he's a bona fide like star. Like he's gonna do well in the NBA. So I think James Bouknight, I didn't really see too much of the UConn game, so I really wasn't too familiar with him, and he didn't really play that many games because he was injured. But when I seen him in the tournament, I was really impressed, and I think in his pre-draft workouts when he was shooting, I mean, yeah, there was no defense, but the way the ball was just going through the net, like just it barely touched rim. You know what I mean? So I think that combined with Steph and Clay, like I think you could start them. I think you could start them all together too as well. You know what I mean? And then Clay can guard small forwards. I feel like he can with his defensive prowess and insert Luke Knight in there at the 2 or the 3, whichever. And the third Splash Brother. I have Luke Knight.
Do they really need more shooting? They have the Splash Brothers. They have okay, yeah, and even looking at the bench, right? They have Damian Lee and they have Poole who are both fighting for that shooting guard position, and now we're gonna throw another shooting guard
But
on top of that.
he could play point guard too, though. That's the thing. He played point guard at UConn. Really, when you think about it, if you watch the games, he was really their point guard. He was the offense. He initiated the offense and all that. Like he was the guy. You know what I mean? So to have him along with Curry and Thompson, he doesn't have to play two guard. That's the thing. He could play point guard if you need him to. But now, if you're looking for a true point guard, even Mitchell though, even Mitchell's not a true point guard. I feel like he's a combo
But
guard.
he's a combo guard who has that leadership skills that could lead that second unit. The Warriors also need
Draymond,
defense
ain't Draymond y'all leader though?
for the first unit. Technically,
Yeah.
You don't see Draymond playing with that second unit. You need someone who's gonna be able to help that second unit, and I think that's Davion Mitchell. Not to mention his defense. The Warriors need that defense that he could bring to them.
Okay. Okay. No, go ahead.
No, that's it. They need his defense.
How many consistent scorers are on that second unit? You can say right now.
How many consistent scores?
Consistent. I said keyword consistent. Consistent.
Now see, right? When Curry's here, right, and when Klay Thompson's here, you're always gonna have one of them on the floor at all times,
All right.
taking all the shots.
All right. Well, you said all times?
At all. Honestly, if they're good, you always want to have a star player on the floor. That's how I always feel. You always want to have one of your star players on the floor.
I see where you're going. Okay. All right.
So I think they're taking the shots.
But see, okay.
Do you need another scorer
Now,
technically?
if you have Curry on the bench, who's gonna initiate the offense for Clay? Is Devion Mitchell? Now would you say Devion Mitchell's a playmaker? Better player, better playmaker than Bouknight.
A little tiny bit, little tiny bit.
I ain't letting you. I'm not gonna let you do that. Mm-mm. No, Mitchell is not a playmaker. He's a scorer. He's more. I see him as more of a scorer than than a than a playmaker. Really, know what I mean? So I didn't move like
Mitchell.
you trying to rock paper scissors shooting what you trying to do, bro?
Let's look at this roster. Let's look at this roster.
We can look at the roster,
Let's look
though.
at this roster. Kelly Oubre's gone.
Okay,
They have Poole and Damian Lee.
okay.
You think Bazemore's coming back?
Uh, yeah, they'll probably sign him to
That's
another.
another shooting guard off the bench.
But Bouknight is not just a shooting guard. He could play point too, though. So that's versatility.
Their best point guard is Gary Payton the second.
That's versatility. Just because they have somebody listed at point guard doesn't mean that they're like a point guard.
The
You know what I mean?
leadership, the leadership, the
Like
leadership.
there's
The
sometimes
defense. Think about the defense. Nobody plays defense on this bench.
there's sometimes that that James Harden gets listed as point guard. We all know it. We everybody knows he's a shooting guard. So you can't just look at that.
The
Like
defense.
I think they list Davion Mitchell as point guard because he's short.
The defense.
So he's not. I don't see him as a.
The
He's not a point
defense.
guard. Bouknight could initiate your offense, and he could give you buckets. He could play off ball. He could play the defense. Okay.
They need that defense. You know they need that defense.
Name one team in the NBA that plays defense, bro.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's not do
the
that now.
the Knicks,
Defense.
the Knicks,
These
the
teams playing
Bucks,
defense.
the Bucks play defense.
These teams playing defense.
Teams
100
play-
points, 120 points. That's defense. Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's not
Okay,
do that.
okay. You can't play defense as well anymore. Because let's be honest, nowadays I'm playing defense. I go like this, and then you're gonna come into my hands like, oh, foul, technical, foul, flagrant two, get him out the game, coach. That's the defense nowadays.
Is it Bouknight or Mitchell?
Is it Bouknight or is it
Bouknight,
Mitchell?
bro. This is bro. Bouknight, you have a point guard and a shooting guard, and you have shooting. You could a possible third splash brother, and he can play with Clay and Curry.
All right.
Can Mitchell
Listen.
can Mitchell
Listen.
play can Mitchell play with Curry and Steph?
I think.
I mean,
I think-
and can Mitchell play with Curry and Clay?
Hold up. I think Davion Mitchell is the best fit. However, I do think Bouknight is a better player. So I will give you this pick. I will give you Bouknight.
Man, thought I was gonna have to scream this like fuck.
You can have Bouknight. The Warriors will draft Bouknight.
All right, wait. I want. No, it's your turn. All right, cool. I bet. All right, what is this? Eight pick.
Eighth pick.
Okay, this year Magic. So me, I wish I could. My hat's gone until after lottery. So with the eighth pick, I have the Orlando Magic taking Jalen Johnson. Let me stop. I think Jalen. Thing is, see, the knock with Jalen Johnson is he only played 12 games, but in those 12 games, he showed a lot of potential, a lot of promise. He shot 44% from the field, which is pretty good. Now, it's only 12 games, but 44%, that's like NBA type stuff, you know what I mean? So I think that's pretty good. Very versatile. You can play him at the three, you can play him at the four. He could probably play point guard if you need him to, shooting guard, whatever. So I think you could play 1 through 4. Wait,
You're serious.
what?
You're serious. Jalen Johnson.
What?
The Magic eighth pick, Jalen Johnson.
What's wrong with that?
That's who you have?
Him and Kuminga? I think
That's who you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? You don't like that pick?
I hate that pick.
But yeah. So I think Jalen Johnson, versatile. Look, y'all needs. It even says it. Y'all need a small forward. Y'all need a power forward. What better than James Johnson? You know, y'all have Kuminga already. James Johnson, pair those two together, and I think that'll be tremendous. You know, give y'all some front court juice for the future, and then y'all already got some centers in Bamba and Carter, so y'all just need to solidify that forward spot a little bit. You know what I mean? So I have Jalen Johnson.
I completely hate that pick. I like the direction you were going. I just think when you put in Jalen Johnson in the Magic, it's not necessarily a good fit. Just because the Magic, we already drafted a small forward in Kuminga.
Right.
We wouldn't want to draft back-to-back small forwards. And what we desperately need
Mhm.
is shooting. That 3-point shooting. Now,
Okay.
the player I originally had was Bouknight
Right.
going to the Magic, but obviously he's gone.
Right.
So now I kind of have to switch my draft order here a little bit. And I think with Bouknight gone, I don't think we're gonna draft another small forward. I think we're gonna go either shooting guard or power forward. I don't think there's any good necessarily power forwards here. And I think we're gonna go for that shooting guard. I think we're gonna take Moses Moody. I think he provides great 3 and D for this team. He could either start next to Fultz, or we could start RJ Hampton and have Moses Moody come off the bench with Cole Anthony. And he could provide that amazing 3 and D that we desperately need in the Orlando Magic.
Okay, so you have Moses Moody.
Moses Moody.
I like that pick. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, aren't y'all? Isn't y'all front court? RJ Hampton's 6'7" now, so he's probably gonna be y'all two guard.
He
Uh,
could come off the bench. Moses Moody could come off the bench.
so Moses Moody's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So he's coming off the bench with Cole. I'm
Yep.
assuming.
Him and Cole are coming off the bench.
Okay, and then you have. So then, like, what about small forward? Like, well, Kaminga, and then who's y'all power forward?
Our power forward.
Yeah, well, Otto Porter.
Our power forward. There's not any. It doesn't matter. There's no good power forwards to pick at
I
this
mean,
point. Unless you,
Unless Isaacs comes back.
Isaacs is obviously the starter.
Yeah. Okay.
Um.
Yeah. I see where you're going. Like, you don't want to draft Kaminga and Johnson back.
Kaminga could play the power forward too. Honestly, if we want.
Yeah, he could.
He has the size for it.
So Moses Moody or Jalen Johnson?
Moses Moody. I think Moses Moody fits him better. We need that 3.
I will only say I will agree with you only because of the shooting aspect. I think he's probably a better shooter than Jalen Johnson, and with NBA, the way that the NBA the game's going, stretching space on the floor and all that, he'll flourish. So, all right, you got this one. I give you that. That's your last one. You getting it over.
Okay, we'll see about that. With the 8th pick, we select Moses Moody.
Moses Moody. All right. So with the ninth pick, you just bow your head to the camera. You're funny.
Future champion.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out. But with the ninth pick, uh, in this draft, I have the Kings selecting Owen Kispert from Gonzaga. Um, I think the Kings they really need some front court shooting. See, the thing is with me, it was either for me, it was either are you gonna draft a shooting guard or are you gonna draft a small forward? You know, like are you either gonna get rid of Buddy Hield or are you gonna get rid of Harrison Barnes? So I feel like Harrison Barnes, they could have got rid since he's older, of course, too, as well. So I think they'll be more willing to, kind of move him to the bench or trade him to another team. And I think Corey Kispert will fit right in. Much better shooter, can stretch the floor. You can play him at the 3, you can play him at the 4, whatever, and he'll flourish. He was top 10 in 3-pointers made with 91. So that was 6th in the nation. And he was also top 10 in field goal percentage as well. 43% from the field. That was also 6th in the nation. So he's a very good shooter, one of the best shooters in college basketball, one of the best shooters in this draft class. So I think Corey Kispert is a good pick for the Sacramento Kings.
Okay, so I'm looking here at the draft that I had set up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I had mentioned, it's completely messed up now because who I had the Kings picking here at ninth pick was Moses Moody. Like you had mentioned before, it was either between.
That would have been nice.
It would have been nice. Like you had mentioned, I think it was either between
Mm.
replacing Buddy Hield or replacing Harrison Barnes.
Right.
And I went with the replacing Buddy Hield aspects because there was reports that Buddy Hield wasn't necessarily happy with the Kings and he wanted out. So take Buddy Hield out, bring in Moses Moody, who still provides that 3 point that Buddy Hield provides, but he also brings defense
Right.
that Buddy Hield did not provide at all.
Right.
But obviously he's gone. So now we have to go with the second option, replace Harrison Barnes. Like you said, he's getting old. And honestly, I like your pick. I like your pick. I think bringing him in to replace Harrison Barnes. He's a senior. He already has that leadership, that mentality. I think he's very mature. Like you said, an amazing shooter. So I agree with you.
I bet. Ninth pick, Corey Kispert. Booyah shaka. Let me get charger. Go on this side. Ninth pick,
All right.
For kiss.
Here, let me just make sure I have the correct pick real quick before I start saying anything. Okay.
Anthony Bennett. Let me stop.
Imagine if that draft was they announced the wrong guy and it's like,
Anthony
oh,
Bennett.
okay. With with the 10th pick here, I think the New Orleans Pelicans select Keon Johnson.
Okay.
I think the New Orleans Pelicans is time to go in a very, very young route. You know, you have Zion Williamson, who you just drafted. Get rid of Eric Bledsoe. Get rid of Steven Adams. You have a plethora of picks from that Drew Holiday trade. Plethora of picks from that Anthony Davis pick. Um, so I think just go young here. Focus on developing your players. I think Keon Johnson will fit amazingly in with this team. I think currently he has the most potential to fit with this team and also to grow and develop with this team. So I think just Keon Johnson's the best fit here.
It's crazy. I agree. Keon Johnson, he's a high flyer. He had what was his vertical? I think it was like a 44-inch vertical jump. Could jump out the gym. Very athletic, and to pair him with Zion, I think that would just that'll just create. That'll give. I think that'll give the New Orleans fan base something to be excited for, like a high flying duo. Uh, and I think that'll just be tremendous for the team. They need a shooting guard, and I think he can if they develop him properly, and use his athleticism, and then allow him. Maybe he develops a jump shot. Sky's the limit for him, and I think New Orleans they have to go with Keon Johnson. I mean, they need a shooting guard. It's been a need. It's been a need for
A
a
long
couple
time,
seasons.
long time, long time,
There's been a need for a couple seasons, so I
long
think
time.
at this pick you have to go with Keon Johnson, best available shooting guard, best probably one of the best available players at this point. So yeah, Keon Johnson.
Keon Johnson.
All right, can I do it this time?
You go, you got it, you got it, you win.
All right, bet.
This is my turn.
What? No, you went first. I gotta go.
Okay, go.
Like,
I
can I
don't know.
get some?
At least,
Can
at
I
least
get
the
some
count.
studio time? I mean, not
At least
studio
the
time.
count.
Can I get some
I don't know how to count.
Can I
I'm
get some
sorry.
camera time or something,
I
bro?
can't count. I lose track.
Sheesh. All right. The Charlotte Bob Hornets with the 11th pick. God damn it. Hello? What up? Um, I'm in the middle of a YouTube video. I'm calling you back. All right. God bless America. Okay. All right, bet. All right, back. All right, with the 11th pick, the Charlotte Hornets, I have them selecting Isaiah Jackson, actually, from Kentucky. Average. He's a crazy athletic. The dude, so many dudes in this draft. Like, I don't. What do you think their parents like fed them? Like for real. Like their wingspans, their vertical jumps, like
I don't
the.
know. I wish my parents fed me that because I wish I was taller. I wish I had that wingspan. I'm just, yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I have Isaiah Jackson. His wingspan is just out of this world. He averaged 2.6 blocks a game. Only he only played 20 minutes a game, which is you know he was one of the best shot blockers in the league. He had games where he had his career high ended up being 8 blocks against Kansas. And now the thing is, with Isaiah Jackson, he did foul out a lot during his career. That's been a problem of his. But I think that's coachable though. I think if you teach him, how to, go vertical instead of, leaning a little bit or just, try not to reach too much. Just teach him the little things. But I think, a veteran coach, and especially a coach like Borrego that comes from the Popovich tree. I think he'll teach him that easily. And also, you have that LaMelo Ball effect as well. They played high school ball together. Their chemistry. Watching it when I used to watch their games at Spire, they seem to have like really good chemistry on the court, and I think that would be amazing if they both can just play together again, once again, especially on the NBA level. I think that would be cool. And yeah, he's just freak athlete, and they need bigs. Hornets do need bigs. They only have Zeller, Biombo, who kind of on the older end. So I think you would need like a new big, new young big who could protect the rim, who could be that rim runner, and he'll be perfect.
Forgot about Brennan Carey Jr., bro.
Now, okay, yeah, but I think they're gonna take their projects though. I think, in my opinion,
Okay. Okay.
I think they're gonna take a little bit longer.
I went a completely different direction from you.
Okay,
I do see their needs being that power forward center position. However, I think at the 11th pick, there were some players that are better for them to pick in terms of skills,
okay.
who they could pick. And here, the one that really stood out to me for the Hornets to pick was Franz Wagner.
I think my bad.
Franz Wagner.
Okay,
I think Franz Wagner, he provides that shooting. And I think looking at this roster, right, their small forward is Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward comes in, plays 5 games, and then he gets injured again. I think you draft Franz Wagner, you have him learn under Gordon Hayward. So once Gordon Hayward plays his 5 games and then he gets injured, or once his contract is up, Franz Wagner could come in, be that starting small forward, and have all the skills, the knowledge that he learned under Gordon Hayward.
okay. Now the thing with that is they're kind of already stacked at the small forward position. Gordon Hayward, if he's healthy, you know, that's a
That's a
big
big
if
if.
though.
That's
Like
a big if. That's a big if.
these last few seasons, it's always something. But I mean, it's just part of the game. But we have Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges. Uh, they kind of sometimes play Malik Monk at that spot too as well. So Malik Monk. So I think they don't really need another small forward to just add to the clutter of talent that they already have. You draft a big, one of the best available bigs in Isaiah Jackson, who has history with one of your marquee players and one of your future franchise stars in Isaiah Jackson, because you want to keep the talent happy. You know what I mean? Like Giannis, they wanted him. He wanted more help, so they brought in Drew Holiday. They brought in more shooting, Bobby Portis, Brent Forbes, all those guys. So I think with Hornets, you make Lamelo happy, who's your future star, your future. He's gonna be your guy. You make him happy by bringing in one of his old teammates and a guy that could contribute to your lineup. And I think he's a first. He could be a first like plug and play guy, kind of guy. Now he is on the skinny side, I would say, because he's real thin. But I think with the NBA, you could they'll get him right. Strength and conditioning will knock that out easy. But I think you got to go with Isaiah Jackson. That's just
So I don't think they're stacked at that small forward position.
really.
When you think about it, Malik Monk, it's not he's not a small forward. He's very small. I don't even think he's gonna last very long with the Charlotte Hornets. Um,
Mm,
I don't think he's gonna last with the Charlotte Hornets. Um, the, Miles Bridges, of course, he's great, but he's not a shooter. He's more of an athletic dunker inside the paint. He's not a shooting small forward. Gordon Hayward plays 5 games. You need depth on that small forward position when Gordon Hayward goes
keep
down.
keep emphasizing that. Bro.
The man played great when the season started, and in classic Gordon Hayward fashion, he went out. You need a replacement for that. Wagner's that replacement. Wagner could learn under Gordon Hayward. Make Gordon Hayward useful with his $28 million so he could teach Wagner all the skills that he knows, transfer them to Wagner.
Yeah, but that's you're basically saying you're hoping that he gets injured. You're basically saying that you're hoping that Gordon Hayward gets injured.
No, no, I'm not hoping it. We know it's gonna happen. We know it's gonna happen. I'm not hoping. I don't hope on this on anybody. I don't hope nobody gets
That's what
injured.
it looks like though.
But
You
but his record is not very good. I am going by his record.
yeah.
I do not remember the last time Gordon Hayward played a whole entire season.
You're basically saying draft Wagner because we know Hayward's gonna get injured
Draft
again.
Wagner because he's the best player available as well.
Well, I wouldn't say best player available, but I don't, bro. You have as it. You need bigs. You have no bigs. Zero, zero quality bigs. Nick Richards is going to take time to develop. Vernon Carey's going to take time to develop. Why not get a guy like Isaiah Jackson who can protect the rim,
But
who's
Isaiah
athletic,
Jackson's gonna take time to develop as well.
but he can play right now. He has NBA ready attributes right
You said he
now
fouls out all the time.
that can
So
be
he
coached.
okay, Vernon Carey can be coached as well.
But his game needs to develop though. Isaiah Jackson's game is really just waiting for lobs, and he's a rim runner. He's an athlete. Like he's a athletic big,
You
really.
literally just said his game is waiting for lobs, right?
Yeah.
If his game is waiting for lobs, don't you think it's a reach if you're taking him at the 11th pick?
The chemistry is already there with him and your starting point guard though. That's the thing, bro. How can you can't deny that?
I think this is a big, big reach.
You think so?
But because he does have,
They need bigs, bro.
they need
They
bigs,
need
they
bigs.
need bigs. He has that.
He's 6'11", bro. 6'11". I don't know his wingspan, but it's probably like close to.
I'm about to give it to you, but if you interrupt me, I'm gonna take it. I still think it's a reach. But because he does have that connection with LaMelo Ball, who is your star player, and you have to keep him happy. And because last season I think the Suns took Jalen Smith at like the 10th pick, which is also a big reach.
Exactly.
I will give that to you. I will give it to you.
Thank you. All right, 11 pick, Charlotte Hornets. They pick Isaiah Jackson. You know, they thought Cam Johnson was a reach too. Look at him now. He's balling. He's hooping right now, man.
With the 12th pick
Mhm.
in the 2021 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Josh Giddey. I think Josh Giddey is a Popovich type of player.
Okay.
You look at him; he's a 6'8" player. He could play the one, the two, the three, possibly the four if he buffs up a little bit more. And just his skill sets of being a playmaker. I think Popovich values playmaking players a lot. An example is look at DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan with the Toronto Raptors was not necessarily playmaking like that. He comes over to the Spurs and Popovich has unlocked an amazing playmaking ability by DeMar DeRozan. The Spurs are also known of playing small. They have DeMar DeRozan playing power forward. They could draft Josh Giddey, put him in at that small forward position, and it just gets them more versatile in that lineup to be able to have a small forward who can play make and facilitate for you. And I think he's also from Australia. The Spurs like drafting foreign players, so Popovich, Spurs. That's the perfect player. Spurs.
Okay, I see what you get there with the whole Euro League, aerobics, all that. But I think I have the Spurs at this pick. I have them taking Franz Wagner. I think he's the perfect Popovich player along with like you said about Giddy. I think Wagner's a Popovich player too. You can plug him in. I think he can play that four if of course if he like bulks up and everything, but I think he has potential to play that stretch floor, be that stretch four guy. He can shoot the ball really well. He's one of the reasons why Michigan was able to make a deep run into the tournament. He played a big part into that. And and I could see that the thing. I feel like his brother has a lot to do with success too. Mo Wagner. I think he's with the Wizards right now.
No, no.
No, he's not. He's with,
Magic.
he's with the Magic. Really,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
He only played like 10 games, but
Man, why you ain't draft Wagner France then, man? Reunite the brothers, bro.
Moses Moody, 3 and D.
I'm dead. All right, Franz Wagner, I think he's a Popovich player. You can plug him in at that four, being another shooter, add extra shooting, and you know, I think he'll be a good pick for the Spurs.
Now, I do agree he would technically be a good fit, a good pick for the Spurs. However, I just feel like Josh Giddey would be a little bit better of a pick just because knowing Popovich, I think Popovich will stress that playmaking ability more because I feel like having a player who could play make is a little bit harder to teach someone to be able to play make and facilitate compared to shooting.
Who would you say is their playmaker right now?
Their playmaker right now,
DeJounte, right? Don't they have one?
yeah,
DeJounte
DeJounte,
and DeMar.
DeMar.
So you think they need more
But
playmaking?
the versatile. That's what I'm
They
saying. The
need,
versatile.
yeah,
The versatile. Popovich stresses he values more playmaking because it's the Spurs system.
ball,
Pass around. Everybody touches the ball. Play make for everybody.
open shot. Yeah.
Open shot. Exactly. So I think Josh Giddey, because of that, because I think playmaking and having that vision is a little bit harder to teach. I think that's why they pick him. Because you could always teach someone to shoot. You can't teach someone to have that vision to play make on the floor.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie, that was good. You need to be a lawyer.
I need to be a lawyer.
For real. I
Those
was,
classes are way too
I
hard,
was,
bro. Those classes are way too hard. I'm not
I mean,
open.
damn, bro. Shoot, all you gotta do is read me my Miranda rights, bro. You would have been good, bro. But okay, I get that.
Agree.
Josh Giddey.
So,
I get it.
Josh Giddey.
All right, Josh Giddey, 12th pick to the Spurs. Okay, we have the Indianapolis Pacers. Uh, let me see who I got. Oh wow, that's crazy. Wait, what? Is this right?
This is draft for win.
It was very much so. All right, so I originally had Moses Moody going here,
Okay.
but of course, Magic selected him already.
Okay.
So now I have. So instead, I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna go Jalen Johnson. Reason being, I feel like Indiana has like one of the best worst teams in the league right now. Like I say best because like starting five, they could compete with anybody. Like when I say anybody, I mean anybody. But what makes it worse is just like the coaching, like the coaches that they've had to deal with. But Nate, pork sandwich, whatever
Oh my
fucking
god.
name, Nate Bjorken. He was like I don't. I think he that team was kind of like wasted with just bad coaching. And I think uh right now they can just, draft Jalen Johnson, who I think would be one of the best available prospects at this point. Small forward. And TJ Warren, his injury history is kind of, iffy, and I don't know, was the whole bubble play thing, was that just a gimmick for just because it was the bubble, no fans and all that? Or was like that an actual thing? Nobody knows. So I think you go Jalen Johnson, excuse me, which is a more safe pick, and I think he played really well with the Duke. Shot 44%, like I said earlier, and I think he's pretty good pick, and the potential for him is just endless. Put the ball on the floor, shoot, dribble, drive, do it all. He just has to hone all that into just, one. And I think that'll happen. But if you're Indiana, you can't miss on Jalen Johnson, right?
We're back on the same page.
Okay.
'Cause I also had Jalen Johnson.
Really?
Yes. Look at the Indiana Pacers. They have a good coach now.
Yes.
Last season they missed the playoffs because they had a bad coach.
Gosh.
They had a few injuries, but looking at this roster from top to down, it is a playoff team.
All right.
They're gonna make the playoffs. Now, you had mentioned TJ Warren. Of course, he has some injury issues sometimes. We don't know if Bubba Warren was good. Their backup small forward was Doug McDermott. I
Right.
think their backup is.
Makes
So right now, they could afford to pick Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson has a lot of potential that you can unlock. He could shoot. You could develop his shooting a little bit better. You could develop his defense even more. And he doesn't necessarily have to come in and be immediately impactful. He could play maybe 10 minutes off the bench because they're still a playoff team. So
facts.
think about it. They're going to be making the playoffs while being able to have the room and the space to develop Jalen Johnson to be who some people might have said could have even gone top five if he didn't leave Duke.
He was getting that type
He
of.
he was getting that type of hype, and then he left Duke.
Yeah.
So pick someone who could have been very high. He could potentially even be a steal at
Yep.
the what is this, the 13th pick.
Yep.
He could be a steal and develop him, and you could be the winners of this draft.
Yeah. I think he can be kind of like a who was it? Like Mitchell Robinson, I would say. Like Mitchell Robinson, nobody knew who he was coming out. Well, people knew who he was, but nobody like really was trusted getting him as a high pick. And now he's, many were calling him like this still the draft for that draft. rim protector, very athletic big. So I think Jalen Johnson is saying many are questioning like, does he love basketball since he just quit on his team? 12 games into the season. Like, does he love the game? Is he going to do the same in the league? I don't think he will, but that's just what people are going to say, and that's what the scouts and the GMs are going to think. You know what I mean? But I think if you're Indiana, you have to gamble. You have to gamble right here. You have the roster to gamble as well. Like your roster is set pretty much. You just to get a guy like them potentially to at 13, that would just be tremendous. So he could end up being one of the steal of the drafts too if he falls this low.
Good.
Could now.
I think it was an
Like
amazing
like
pick.
also with Michael Porter too. He fell that was because of injuries, but
Injury.
still like he
But
fell. Nobody really trusted if he was going to be the same player. Now he's flourishing right now. So yeah, Jalen Johnson,
Jalen Johnson.
13th pick. Booyah shaka. Back with the Warriors.
The Warriors really have two lottery picks, huh? That's crazy.
Two lottery picks with Steph and Clay. That's crazy.
Now, with the 14th pick,
Hmm.
the Golden State Warriors. Now, in my draft, I had the Golden State Warriors picking Davion Mitchell, number 7, and I had them picking a forward here at 14.
Okay.
However, we did pick Bouknight for the Warriors to pick at 7,
All right.
but I'm still a big fan of Mitchell, and I think Mitchell deserves to be on the Warriors. His defense, his leadership. It's exactly what the Warriors need off the bench. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm still gonna be firm and I'm still gonna pick Davion Mitchell.
Okay, I'm gonna agree. I think Donovan Mitchell is gonna be great at this spot. For him to fall this low, at 14th is going to be great for the Warriors. Like you said, they do need a backup point guard. I don't see him as a point guard. I see him as a combo guard, like kind of Donovan Mitchell. How he played, how you have Michael Conley at the point guard and you have Donovan Mitchell at the two guard. I see him as that kind of position. But I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be great for the Warriors, and I think having him at this spot is going to be tremendous. You get a backup PG, like you said, backup. You can play him with Booknight. They can interchange. One can play off ball, one can play on ball. And you have two solid guards for the future. You know what I mean? And you develop those under Clay and Steph. Future's bright, really. And I think you have to go with Mitchell, really best available. I mean, you could go Wagner maybe if you want to get small forward, but I think Mitchell's kind of a more sure, more proven kind of player. So I think, yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
You couldn't just agree when I said Davion Mitchell at the 7th pick, bro?
Oh,
Like
yeah, Davion.
you couldn't just agree with me when I said I
When
picked
what?
him at the 7th pick?
I mean,
Like you
yeah,
agree?
I want, but the thing is, it's like I feel like he'll be here though. I feel like he's
Okay.
gonna be there. Nobody's like, I don't think nobody's like really like, oh, come here, like type. Like, I don't think nobody's really wants him like that. You feel me? I think they would rather go for like, I think Book Knight will be gone. I feel like Book Knight is more likely to be gone than Mitchell.
Okay. Okay.
That's just
I
me though.
like that. I agree with that. I agree with
You
that.
hear me?
So Davion Mitchell going to the Warriors at 14.
Yeah, they be all good. Boom. All right, we
There's a
did that.
draft.
Who are some guys you think could potentially like not saying that they'll replace one of these players, but they have potential to like have their name called in the lottery. Who's a lottery pick you think? Like,
So this draft, I think this is probably one of the deepest drafts. I think there's a lot of people who you're gonna look at and you're gonna be like, wow, this man was definitely a steal of the draft because this draft is so deep and so talented.
hmm
Um,
oh
my God,
oh Kai Jones.
Kai Jones,
Gotcha. Okay,
Kai
Kai Jones.
Jones. See, I'm,
Oh, he's
I
he's
forget
different.
names. I'm bad with names.
Kai Jones is different.
Kai Jones, Trey Mans. Who else am I missing? Cooper. Cooper could go up here. There's just so many people that could go up here. It's just this draft is just so deep.
Yeah,
And I think there's just a variety of talents who you're gonna see someone pick up higher than you would have expected them to be.
yeah.
But it'll be a surprise and it won't be a surprise at the same time just because it's so talented and so deep.
Right. Me, I would say I think you can go with mm, like you said, Wagner. I feel like he will have his name called. I don't know who he's gonna replace, but Wagner could have his name called uh Sharif Cooper. If a team likes him or trusts him enough, if you like maybe the Warriors, like if they don't want to go with a if they want to go with a true point guard instead of Davion Mitchell, then they could probably draft Sharif Cooper. He could be the playmaker to come off the bench. So I think Sharif Cooper. I wouldn't say Trey Man. I would like him to be a lottery pick, but I don't think he's there just yet. But yeah, for me, I would say Wagner, of course, and Sharif Cooper. Okay. Now I got one more. So who's gonna be your steal of the draft?
My steal of the draft, I think
Or who do you think will be the steal of the draft?
the steal of the draft will be whoever the Orlando Magic draft. No. So So I think the steal of the draft could honestly be Jalen Johnson, because having him fall all the way down to 13, it could be another Michael Porter Jr. situation.
Yep.
People at one point, they were very high on him, but of course he left college, so people are now not sure about him anymore. So it could make him fall all the way down here. And I think just he has a lot of potential that the Pacers could unlock if they do draft him here at 13, like we have. And I think once they unlock that potential, and then you see how great he's gonna be, it's gonna be like, wow, they really let this man fall all the way down.
Right. Okay. I like that. I love that pick actually. I'm gonna go a little bit different though. I think Scotty Lewis from Florida. I think he's gonna be still a draft. I've been, I've been talking about him
Yep.
for a
Yeah.
while. I think he's like one of those guys who's been a pro since high school really, and he didn't really have to go to college, but he just had to, because of the rules and everything. But I think Scotty Lewis, I think he's gonna be still the draft. Uber athletic, like insane athletic. Can play? He plays both ways of the floor. You can put him at the two, put him at the three. Very skilled. Now the thing is, he needs to kind of learn the game actually because he's been playing mostly off of gifts. You know what I mean, like athletic gifts. But I think once he learns the game, a team's gonna be really happy that they drafted him, and he's gonna make somebody real happy. He's gonna make a team really happy. So yes, I think Sky Lewis is gonna be my steal of the draft
That's a good pick.
for sure.
I don't have much to say because I've been hearing you say
But yeah,
Scotty
Sky, bro,
Lewis for the past like
I'm
months.
telling you, bro, he's gonna be that guy, bro. Y'all heard it here first. Scotty Lewis still the draft. He, y'all gonna hear his name a lot, I think, in the future for sure.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, is that it?
Well, I think that's it.
So we appreciate y'all for tuning in though. It's our first ever.
First video
It's crazy history.
history. You just witnessed history. Congrats.
You know what I mean?
Back,
Pat yourself on the back, all that good stuff.
back. In the future, once you see us on top on ESPN, you can go ahead and tell your children, I saw their first YouTube video. Remember that.
For real though.
Remember that.
For real.
Exactly.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Um,
Yeah.
if you don't already follow us on all our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that. All that's gonna be in the link though under the video. So yeah.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe,
And share.
and share.
You heard me?
And thank you guys for tuning in. We out.
Appreciate y'all.